When Mclaren Automotive launched in 2010, their first car really challenged supercar traditions with a small capacity turbo engine and laboratory engineered driving precision. I loved it then, I love it now still. This car was an absolute game changer. But you know, the most impressive thing for me is that this sports car focused, privately owned company in just 8 years has really expanded their garage. McLaren have arranged their product offensive into 3 distinct ranges. The Sports Series is the brand's entry point, comprising the 570S Coupe, Spider and GT, as well as the car that we are featuring, the 600LT. There's also the more accessible 540C, which McLaren does not bring to South Africa. Their core range is the Super Series. This is where the 650S would slot in, but it has been replaced by the super fast 720S. With the limited production of just 500 units, the 675LT also slots in here. And then of course there is the Ultimate Series, essentially McLaren's hyper garage, with the P1, the P1 GTR, the Senna and the soon-to-be released Speedtail. Within the range, the LT or long-tail derivative would be the most extreme and track-focused iteration. So I have been privileged to have driven a few McLarens in my time, and the great news, I get to tick another off my list today. It is the newest in the Sports Series, and it just also happens to be the most powerful, the fastest and the most extreme. A name steeped in McLaren racing heritage, this is the 600LT. Just take a look at it. Honestly, the hottest McLaren in the garage. And for me, it really all comes down to just one detail, that fixed rear wing. It looks menacing, ready to attack, whether in resting or racing mode. And then you have those unique twin-top exiting exhausts, perfectly positioned on the rear deck to work in conjunction with that fixed wing. More extreme than the exhaust system on the Senna, not only does it save weight, but the sound, oh, that glorious sound, is literally on top of you. The rear has been extended by 47mm, the long tail, and with that longer tail they've been able to fit a more powerful carbon fiber diffuser, and with the repositioning of the exhausts they can also make the diffuser wider and taller, and it's all finished off with their distinctive LED light signature. Oh, what a glorious sight. Up front, it's the 570 face we love, but it sits 8mm lower, and the front track is widened by 10mm, and there's also a new aggressive front splitter and floor. There are also bespoke ultra lightweight wheels, the lightest ever in the Sports Series, lightweight aluminium calipers, carbon ceramic discs, and the braking system from the 720S. The extreme nature of the LT continues in the cockpit. Lightweight Alcantara is used extensively, and you're not going to find any carpet in the footwells or under the seats. And speaking of seats, straight out of the P1 and also used in the 675LT, these carbon fiber racing seats shed an additional 21 kilograms. And speaking of extreme, there is no air conditioning, audio or navigation as standard, although these are offered as non-cost options. And all of this of course built around their lightweight carbon fiber monocell 2 tub, incredibly strong and rigid. Unfortunately, our test unit has been fitted with all of the creature comforts. And even though the 600LT is essentially a road legal track machine, getting to the track doesn't mean I have to load my car on a flatbed. This is something McLaren has always done really well as a supercar manufacturer, putting their drive mode select into normal mode. It's actually very comfortable and compliant as a daily commuter. And little things, you know, I pull on the stalk and I can raise the ride height of my 600LT, which means I can manage those pesky little speed bumps in the suburbs no problem without scraping that beautiful front splitter. And as we found on the 570S when we drove that, they've reworked the sill, so actually accessing the cockpit of your McLaren doesn't require a perfect 10 from the gymnastic judges. I really love these P1 seats. They just literally hug your body and you know exactly what your 600LT wants you to do. But I guess, like high heel shoes, probably not the most comfortable, but they certainly serve a purpose. So the long tail version is always about increased power, better aero, more downforce, more extreme, better turning and handling. It is the most track focused out of any model in the range. So what have they done? They've basically lost a Marius. They've shed 96 kilograms in weight. That makes a massive difference. But part of that whole change in the weight as well, we spoke about it being more powerful. The 3.8 litre twin turbo V8 is now pushing out 441 kilowatts and 620 Newton meters. And with that launch mode and the reduction in the weight, your 600LT is going to sprint to 100 in 2.9 seconds. This is blistering performance. You know what this car is all about, track performance and business. And with all of the aero improvements, this car is now producing an extra 100 kilograms of downforce. These are unbelievable performance figures. They've made the steering a lot quicker as well, so you're super engaged, and that is what I've always loved with the McLaren. Rear wheel drive, that front end remains true. It is a really engaging drive. And listen to that soundtrack, revving to 8,000 RPM, and I love those exhausts that pop out at the top. This car is all about personality. I've been gushing a lot over the years about just how brilliant McLaren is, because it's got a lot less to do about status and image and the soundtrack, and it's more about building a car for the driver, for the purist, and that comes from all of their years of Formula One pedigree. What they're able to design on the racetrack, they can turn around and produce in their factory and put it onto a car and test it within 2 days. This car is for a person that knows about performance cars, who wants to drive, and that is what sets any McLaren owner apart from the rest. They upset the supercar category in 2011 when they brought out the 12C, and they continue to set the benchmark in ultimate driving performance. Unbelievable.